Hi, my name is Natalie and I write books. If you're new here, welcome. I'm excited to have you here. Just so you know, I am terribly inconsistent about uploading videos. I'm hoping that'll change, but no promises. I'm happy you're here. Hi, Digby. My dog is here now, so he's going to be probably making random noises. I'm so sorry. Okay, so this video is a kind of January wrap-up video. So I'm trying to do these, hopefully, once a month for the entire year of 2024. I figure if I can't get any other videos uploaded, if I can at least do one a month and talk about, what I've been writing, what I've been reading, then I will be happy. So that is what today's video is. It's gonna be 4 categories. So what I've been writing, what I've been reading, what I've been watching or listening to, like entertainment, and then just like general life updates, anything that I want to share with the channel. Obviously some stuff I'm going to keep personal, but if there's something I want to share, that's kind of that category that's going to go into. So like, why wait any longer? Let's jump in. If I'm looking down, I am looking at things I wrote down. January. January was a good writing month in some respects. This past year was very difficult for me writing wise. I would get really into it and then I would fall out of it. I didn't have a consistent routine. I wasn't writing like a lot of words, to be honest. It was kind of a here and there thing. So January was definitely miles and away more consistent than I've been in a long time, but definitely not what previous years have looked like. So I'm gonna just like throw up some stats up here right now. I wrote a total of 12,931 words in January. So that's really good for me. Most of that work was done in my project that I call Wild Ivy, which is a Regency romance novel. You'll also see on this chart that I have another project in there that I don't have any kind of title for. I just call it Project Romantasy. It's a romantasy, like it's not a creative title. So in Project Wild Ivy, I'm on chapter 22 out of 35 plus an epilogue, so really 36 chapters. If you follow the Save the Cat beats, that is like the bad guys close in portion. I'm like 60% through the book right now. We're getting there. This book has been not hard to write. I don't want to say that because it's not hard to write. It is a story that is flowing very easily for me, but it is so difficult for me to get my butt in the chair and write the book. This book has been a long process. For those who don't know, I started writing this book in 2019, and wrote an almost complete draft and shelved it. 2020 happened, life got weird, and came back to it with a completely different story. So the only things that are the same are the setting and the main character, but the entire plot, the love interest, the themes, like all of that completely changed. So this is technically draft 2, but like not really. I'm calling it draft 2 because I did take so much of that essence of the first book, but it's a different book. I do plot my books, so I have a complete plot outline. I have the whole structure. That's how I know how many chapters I have and everything. So it's not like I don't have any idea where I'm going. It's just sitting down and getting writing is so difficult for me with this book, and I don't know why. But I don't want anyone to think that I don't love this book, because I absolutely do. I love these characters. I love this setting. I love this book. But yeah, it is, I am trucking through. I'm getting there. The light is at the end of the tunnel. I'm gonna get there very soon. And then I will do a round of edits and send it off to a couple of trusted readers and go from there. My hope, you heard it here first, internet, my hope is to finish this book by the end of March. I would love it to be sooner than that, but I just can't. I can't trust myself to write that many words in that time period. So the hope is by the end of March, I have this draft completely done. And then the other project that I've been working on is Project Romantasy. I read Fourth Wing and its sequel last year in December, maybe November. I liked it a lot. I liked it a lot. And I hadn't been reading fantasy really since like high school, to be honest. I'm 27 now. And it was something I fell out of love with. And I think that Fourth Wing kind of just re-engaged that part of my brain. The original idea was like very Fourth Wing, but I have changed a lot of it, so it is not that. But there's a war happening. We gotta train for the war. There are no dragons, sorry. And yes, it's been fun to develop a magic system. It's been fun to create a whole world. I haven't done that in a very long time. I have written fantasy before, but that book was in high school, very long time ago. So it's exciting to get back to something that I really do love and really do enjoy. I will tell you more about it as I know more. Right now, I'm literally just plotting the novel. If anyone wants to see my process of how I plot novels, let me know. Like, leave a comment down below if that's something you want to see. I haven't seen anyone else do it the way that I do it, but it makes perfect sense to me. So if that's something you want to see, let me know. I kind of use a little bit of the Save the Cat model and a little bit of like the 36 chapter method or whatever it's called, and like a little bit of like a percentage structure. I don't know. Let me know if you're interested in that at all, okay? I will film it if anyone cares. According to this writing tracker, I wrote for 11 days out of the month, which is honestly really good for me. Let's be honest. Like, that's really good for me, and I'm proud of that work. So if I can keep that up, if I can write just over 10,000 words a month, I should be able to finish this book by the end of March. So here's hoping. Okay, so now I want to talk about reading. I read 6 books this month, and honestly, I'm not going to do this every month, but all of them are great, so I'm going to mention all of them here. So the very first book that I finished this month, and let's be honest, I started it in December, was a book called Stolen World. Follow me here. This is so random and so niche. It is a nonfiction book about the reptile smuggling industry in America from like the 60s to now. And it is wild. Like, if you're a nonfiction person, I highly recommend this book, even if you have no interest. It is fascinating. I like nonfiction books. This occasionally reads a little bit like a textbook, I'll be completely honest with you. But like, once you get invested in these characters, oh my gosh, this book is so good. I actually picked up this book because how do I say this? I know someone who knows someone who is in this book, and decided that like we wanted to know, and she didn't want to read it, and so I read it like for her, and wow. Anyway, I know it's super niche, but like, if you're into that, I highly recommend it. It's a wild ride. So the second book I read this month was Inside the World of Bridgerton with Catherine Curzon. Curzon? I think that's how you say her name. This was kind of like an accidental find. My bookstore had this on sale, and I'm writing a Regency romance, which I do happen to know a lot about, but you know, it's a fun little read. I don't think I necessarily learned anything new, but it was definitely fun, and it's something that I've kept kind of beside me as I write, so I can refer back to stuff when I need it and not have to use the internet. So this was a fun little, just like something for me because of the time period that I'm writing book. The next 3 books that I read were rereads. It's the Forever series, or I think it's the Shiver series by Maggie Stiefvater. I never learned how to say her name, I'm so sorry. These were books I read when I was a teenager and loved, and I have no idea why I decided to pick them up again, but I did, and I really loved them. These books are a better version of Twilight, in my opinion, and there's no vampires, it's just werewolves. Just beautiful little romance, and it's sweet and cute. I really love her gentle way of describing this romance of like, it's very sweet and like sincere and honest. I super love these books. They are for teenagers, let's be straight up honest, but I highly recommend reading them if you haven't. They're quick reads, it's just good stuff. And then the very last book that I read this month, audiobook, was Little Women, which was like a chunky book. If you've never read it, it's a big book and it was fantastic. Loved it. I have read parts of it before, and huge fan of like all iterations of the movie. We watched the older two versions when I was a kid, and then when the 2019 Greta Gerwig movie came out, it's like one of my favorite movies. So it's not like this was a surprising story to me or anything like that. I just never like sat down and read the whole thing straight, so I did, and I loved it. I feel like Little Women is one of those stories that like stretches throughout the ages and connects generations because of its characterization work. It's just a good like masterclass in relational drama and how that piece of a book can be the thing that carries you through. So like the plot of Little Women isn't always like the most interesting. Sorry if that offends anyone, but like it's domestic life throughout a period of a few years. But the thing that makes you want to keep reading is the relationship between the sisters, the relationship between them and their mother, the relationship between them and Lori, their neighbor. So like the relational part of characterization is the part that makes stories like this matter for years to come. And that's just a really good reminder for my own writing. And then not a book that I read necessarily, but something worth mentioning is that I've been doing a read the Bible in 1 year plan. And I'm far ahead because I read fast, but I've already finished 4 books of the Bible, which is pretty exciting. So moving on to the next section, I'm going to talk about the entertainment, music, films, shows that I watched this month. First things first, my husband is watching Friends for the very first time. He's seen bits and pieces, haven't we all? But he's never seen it all the way through, so we're watching Friends. Right now we're in season 3. We were on a break. So yeah, we're having a great time. It's just something fun to have on while we're hanging out in the evenings. I also watched 2 seasons, the only 2 seasons of Shadow and Bone. Loved it. Fantastic. And now I want to read those books. I didn't know anything about it when I went into it. I had just, well, actually, the only thing I did know about it was that Ben Barnes was in it. And that was enough for me. So yeah, absolutely loved it. I thought it was great. It really got my brain kind of swirling about magic systems, about different types of magic and how that impacts a person's personality. You know, kind of just stuff to keep in mind when I'm plotting my romantasy novel. And then the only other thing I'll mention in this category is that my friend Sasha Baker came out with her very first single, which is called Queen of Vengeance. So everybody should go to Spotify and listen to it. She's awesome. She's absolutely like one of the best people in the world, and you should go support her music. So check her out. We've come to the very last section of this video, which is just like general life updates and things like that. Kind of a lot going on and then nothing going on all at the same time. And I don't know how that can be true, but somehow it is. I am still in Florida with my husband and my dog. We are living down here near Disney World, having a grand old time. I turned 27. I don't feel 27. Like, I really don't. I kind of feel like 23. I think it's kind of, which I guess makes sense because 4 years ago was 2020 and the world stopped. So I feel like I just never, I don't know. I guess that's the topic for another video, but like, I don't feel 27. I feel, that feels too old for me to be. Like, I don't know. Last month, I became an aunt, whatever you want to call it, and a godmother to precious little nephew. My very first nephew from my sister, my only sibling. And yeah, it's very special, very sweet, and we love him a lot. So that is it. That is all of the updates that I have. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you learned a little bit about me and what I've been working on. I would love to hear about what you guys have been working on. Like, truly, I would love for this to be a conversation. The #1 goal of this channel is to have a community. I don't want it to just be about me. So please tell me what you've been working on, what you've been reading. How was your January? How are you feeling mentally and physically? Is there anything I can pray for you? What is going on? Tell me about you so that I can invest in what you're doing. I'm curious about all of it. I promise I really am. If you liked this video, if you like my weird, quirky energy, if you like border collies, please subscribe. You can like this video, that helps me a lot. And I will see you next time.